Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Okay, so we've been in this apartment for a year and a few months.
Yes.
We've also been doing what we do for about 13 years.
Yeah.
So we've been, we've had a lot of connections and stuff.
Yeah, people send us things.
Well, that's the thing. People send us things.
People
send us clothes. People send us shoes.
You know what? We haven't gotten plaques yet. So all you record companies out there who owe us plaques, you know where we live.
I was just talking to Hip Hop Mike about this.
Yeah.
Because he has a bunch of plaques. And he was like, wait, how do you guys have none?
Yeah. Great question. Is
Great
that
question.
Is that what we're talking about today?
No, I wanted to talk about how one thing that's in our apartment, because the more time I spend in here, the more you start to notice things.
Sure.
And every time that we're doing these podcasts, these conversations, I have the view where I'm looking at all this alcohol that's been sent to us.
That we don't drink.
Yeah.
But it's still here.
Well, I mean, we don't drink in general.
Right.
And so we have boxes and boxes of alcohol that I would never drink.
That are sitting in our hallway.
And it's hypnotic.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to our friends who sent us Hypnotic.
I don't drink your product, but I appreciate that you would think of us.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't want this in our apartment. And I have two ideas for what to do with it.
I'm so glad.
One, give it away. The only problem is there's nobody to give it to.
Yeah.
And if I just gave it to one of our neighbors, I don't want to be close to anybody right now, so I can't even get close to them to be like, hey, well.
You're going to, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Give it to our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Like go knock on their door, any of their doors in this big apartment building and be like, hey, I'm Jeff.
Well,
I've lived here for the last year and change.
I guess that newcomers here's some
Hypnotic.
Introduce themselves door to door and say, hello, I'm new to the neighborhood. Here's a gift from me.
No, I guess.
No,
yeah,
they should be giving me a gift.
Work the other way. Oh, hi, Jeff. Welcome to the building after a year and a half.
Yeah, I will take the gift would be if they took the Hypnotic.
That would be a gift.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's not going to happen.
I don't think that the target audience for Hypnotic is Jewish, middle-aged
comedians
upstairs.
I don't think that,
or the woman who works at Trader Joe's. None of these people are going to be, Bob, drinking our Hypnotic.
Bob, who sits out in the hallway,
who was a Vietnam vet or something.
Yeah. I don't think any of them want your Hypnotic.
It's our Hypnotic. First of all,
does Hypnotic go bad?
Does Hypnotic go bad? That's a good question.
Does it get better with time? Now I'm wondering maybe if we should keep it.
Yeah. 2015 was a great year for Hypnotic.
So
what is in Hypnotic? Is it grapes?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know, nor do I care to open it.
It's not like a wine. What?
No. It's a liqueur.
Yeah, but from what? Liqueur could be from anything.
From what? The Hypnotic trees, Jeff. What do you think?
The Hypnotic trees. The Hypnotic trees of Cambodia. Sure.
These are fine bottles.
Wait, hold on. Kill time. I'm going to find...
Hypnotic.
Oh, no, I can't.
No, do not. Jeff.
I was going to look up what's in Hypnotic.
Here's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on. And we're going to open up those bottles and pour them out.
What are you going to do with the bottle?
Are the bottles green?
I think that the bottles are frosted. Oh, no, I guess they are a bluish thing, right? And then, I thought that just the liquor was.
I think we're going to have to investigate. Tune in tomorrow when we find out more about...
whatever's in those bottles.
Yeah, who knows? Jeff, who is on the podcast today?
On the podcast today is The Dream.
The Dream. And man, I love this conversation right here. He came over to our old apartment about a year and a half ago. We had a full... long episode of A Waste Time with It's the Real just dedicated to him and his career. And today is a shorter version of that same energy, same charisma, same dream. I mean, he is one of one, and I'm so glad that we had this conversation.
Rajni Jacques is on the podcast.
Rajni, one of our favorites. She is a great human being, a mother of two, a wife, a fashion editor, a Mets fan.
Very important.
And we talked about all of that stuff, which is so much fun. She's awesome, and she's welcome back anytime. And Jubilee.
Jess is a touring DJ who, at the moment, is not able to tour.
Yeah.
She might not be able to be creative. She may not be able to get in front of all the people that she normally does, but she is doing Instagram Lives. She is playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and she is as characteristically funny and smart and great as she always is.
That's right.
So I'm happy to have Jess on the podcast.
Before we get into this, Jeff, we should mention that we are on patreon.com/itsthereal.
Yes, and I did this without asking you.
Okay.
But I set up an event for next Sunday.
Does it have anything to do with the Hypnotic?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I haven't connected the dots yet.
I'm already looking forward to it.
But as soon as I figure it out, it will involve Hypnotic.
Okay, great.
You and I are going to be battling on our Patreon.
Yeah.
I'm setting up a Zoom.
Yeah.
We're going to be battling a battle of AKAs.
So what you're saying is the people already got Swiss Beats and Timbaland.
Yes.
They already got Jonte Austin and Neo.
Had it.
They already got Lil Jon and T-Pain.
Had it.
They already got Babyface and Teddy Riley.
Done. Now they get Eric, a.k.a. whatever dumb shit you said, and then Jeff, a.k.a. Player of the Year, a.k.a. Uchiwali Zerbiak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Jeff's
just a
throwing
taste.
shots already.
Just a taste.
So this is only for our Patreon patrons. This is
Yes.
only for the people who have pledged to keep this thing going by making contributions on a monthly basis, $2, $3, $7, $10, whatever.
Yep.
People who want
$50,000
to be a part of what we're doing right now. We're doing some givebacks.
Yep.
Zooms, T-shirts, stickers, experiences.
Yeah, we are making whatever money
Hypnotic.
you are giving our way. If you want Hypnotic,
So what you're saying is that if you're a member, if you're a part of this Patreon family,
if you invest in us, we will invest in you. And one thing that we are doing for our Patreon people is to do a battle of AKAs.
okay, so this is going down
Yep. Next Sunday.
next Sunday.
Yeah.
Next Sunday,
Be there.
May 3rd.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/itsthereal is where you can sign up. You'll get all the information there. Patreon.com/itsthereal.
Yep.
Jeff, let's now get on the phone with the Dream.
Beep boop boop beep 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 boop beep boop beep beep boop beep boop boop boop.
Dream, what up?
What up?
What good, man?
What's happening? How are you?
Man, I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. I'm blessed. Nobody's sick in the family.
That's a beautiful
And,
thing.
You know,
Yeah.
prayers out to everybody who's been touched, of course, in a negative way by this.
Absolutely.
So far right now, man, we're doing good. Just had heart surgery. I made sure none of the family members went to see her. Like almost literally like sitting at the hospital in the parking lot, like, hey, nobody's going up.
Oh my God. But all is good.
Everybody, she's great. She's
Wonderful.
talking shit all morning.
Dream, how did Swiss and Tim initially approach you about the versus battle?
Oh, wow. Well, I was sitting at the house minding my business with my beautiful underlings, my kids. And so Swiss called me, and Swiss talk all the time.
Yeah.
And we've been talking a lot as of late, especially over the last 4 or 5 years. Even with the Alicia Keys thing that she just did the other night, that was a song that we did.
Awesome.
You know, it's a part of our relationship of how it initially began.
Yes.
So Swiss was just calling me. I thought he was just calling, shoot the breeze. Like, that's good. All right, yo, man, your guy said he want it. I'm like, want what? Who's my guy? Like, man, he's trying to get that battle, man. Like, what's good? I was like, battle? Nobody doing no damn battle, man. Get the fuck out of here. So he's like, man, come on, man. You got to do this for the culture, for the thing. He hit me with the culture thing. And I was like, all right, cool. And, he, of course, and that's what it's for. That was the point, and that's what it's intended to do.
For sure.
Is to make sure that everybody's, good. And so I said, all right, I'll do it. And I guess Tim told Sean, because I guess Sean supposedly hit Tim about it. And so Tim's on the phone at the same time, by the way. So I'm like, I'll do it, but we got to donate $25,000 to my mom's foundation, which I'm just getting off the ground. You guys have no idea how hard it is to start a foundation. I just got off the ground. I'm like, you got to donate $25,000 to it, like, and let's do it. So we're just not doing it for no reason. If we really entertaining people and people are sitting at the house, it's for the culture. Like, let's help out in a certain type of way versus just being self-serving. And Sean agreed to it. He's like, all right, cool, let's do it, bet, great. And that's how it started. That's how they approached me about it.
So when we had you on the podcast up here in New York, and when we saw you speak here during Fashion Week, and even when we seen you speak down in Atlanta at Killer Mike's swag shop, we loved your storytelling and your confidence in your catalog. But how did you know in that scenario against Sean to just let the music do the talking and Sean do the rest?
Oh, well, so I mean, Sean and I, as well as a lot of us, man, that I have appreciation for, that came before me, just period. Because he was one of those guys that got to a certain spot before the ones that were just getting in or coming up did, in a certain type of way. So anybody doing something is inspiring, to the next person. Sometimes I think people need to hear that enough, but that has a lot to do with yourself and how you carry yourself, and to even hear that and being around who you need to be around. So, just playing the songs, I have confidence in the idea that I don't chase number ones. I never have. I just want to write the greatest thing for the greatest moment.
Yeah.
So, and I felt like at this point in my life, people understood that about me. It wasn't about, hey, let's go hit the conveyor belt line and get a number one out. Like, we know how to do that. Like, it's really simple, guys. Like, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you can write anything and get it, but it's a thing you do. Like, it's a bunch of components that create number ones, especially in the black culture. It's different if you this big pop icon and you do this record, nobody really cares what you're really saying. Right. And it's like, because your status is just number one.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, I have a different barometer. And mine is when I get phone calls from the people that I respect and catalogs that I respect, telling me about a song that I did and about lines in it, and that it is a story and they can read it from one. There's no filler shit in it. Yeah. There's no fluff. It's like, break this down, put it in a book, put my words in a book, put it on a coffee table and read through it. And so I'm that confident that what I've done, if you strip it all away, then it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Dream, you one of the things that people were very excited about when you did the verses was that you played a version of the Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z song, like the reference track that you had written.
Right.
How did you clear that? Or was there any conversation with either Jay or Justin, or like, how did that all happen?
You said how did I clear it?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I don't have to clear anything, man. I think that's a big misconception too, is that I'm like this little dude, like running around. Like, I'm not like the new kid on the block. I've been doing this for 23 years. Mm-hmm. I'm not clearing a motherfucking thing. That's number one. Like, and that's based on the idea that I have respect for the people that I work with. I have so much love for them, so much love for Jay, Reed, B, Kanye, like all the people that gave me a shot at making something great that is in their catalog or on them. Man, I'm just appreciative of it, and they know that in person. So it's not like like I'm not out here leaking things to just leak them or whatever. Like, it's not like Holy Grail came out last month and I put it out.
Right.
That would never happen. Like, I'm too professional for that. Like, that's just not even, we knew what it was. It's getting to a point, and these are things, and people are telling stories about how they put music out, what happened beforehand. There are things I even got in the workings now about my demos and about songs and how they get to a certain spot. Mm-hmm. And also everybody knows that I'm in love with the idea of making of things. Right. Like, it doesn't have to be a song. It could be, how did they stitch the leather on the steering wheel of a car, or the painter's Basquiat. Like, it's all about what goes into that thing of how it was made. What was the thought? What was the care in it? So when I have a group of people like that, like, I don't feel like I need to call to clear something that's like, I guess it's more so like logic and common sense thinking. Like, once you know you're around somebody that has common sense, then you kind of just don't worry about them.
Yeah. Well, but then why that song as opposed to any other reference track that you could have put out?
I don't know. That just happened to be one that was kind of talking about, like, just lately. It could have just been on my mind that day or anything. Like, I have no idea. There was nothing that really went into it at all. It was literally when I put my list up of what songs I wanted to play which I didn't even go that far into doing it. Like, it was no background singers and shit in my shit. It was just me, my girl, her sister. Like, it was, we was chilling.
Yeah.
And the baby, I didn't even look at it like I was supposed to be like, it's a battle, man. You better get ready. Like,
well, what was the thinking behind going to play golf while Sean was like directly in the camera on his side?
Well, that was just me being an asshole.
Did you understand what it was going to look like and what like the memes were going to be like and what it felt like?
Well, it was just I didn't know nothing about how far it would go in that space, but like you're choosing two different things to be, right, with your life. You could be nasty, or you could be that. Where it's okay, that's funny, but nobody's hurt.
Right. Like,
nobody's said nothing that's like that you have to take back or apologize for, or whatever it is. So for me, it's choosing those two vehicles. Like I come from the west side of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
People said shit like we as kids said shit that get you in a fight, and as adults you understood why not to say certain shit. It ain't because you're scared of somebody else. It's because that has to go all the way to 10 now. It's no let up. It's when you see that person in the street and you said XYZ, expect that thing. So once I became an adult, I was never in the idea of building enemies.
Yeah.
Based on something I'm saying, or being slick, or being smart, or disrespectful to another woman or a man. Like, it's just, I'll just call. If I got a problem, I'll just call somebody.
Yeah.
So
is that what this is about?
Thing just literally, the golf thing literally was just derived from where I am now as a human being and as a man, versus when I was hearing about, he said this at the beginning of the thing, and then it was this and it was that, and it's like, okay.
I think
so, even though they'll sound personal, but I can't really say that they are personal, because I know he knows that I know that we don't know each other. We don't hang out.
Right.
We don't have none of the same friends. Like, I grew up in Atlanta. Like, this, this is my home, and it's just, it is what it is,
I think that your guys' verses really did set the tone for a lot of stuff to follow, and I think that people took that as a moment and broke it down to like, okay, how can we make this even better and more even, and so
absolutely,
yeah, and so you get like the Jonte Austin and Neo thing, and people are like, oh, this is more streamlined or whatever, but you have to go through the first one to get to that point. Did you tune in to the Babyface and
Teddy Riley
one, or actually, I guess Saturday night and Monday night?
Yes, I tuned into a piece of both of them.
And did you enjoy one over the other, like as in Saturday night versus Monday night?
I just personally thought that at that particular point, it just had gotten big, before our eyes, and maybe there's a certain thing that needs to be done about if we're going to do it. Like, if Swiss is going to do it, and we had a conversation about this yesterday, which he has his own plans, which I was like, amazing. He's definitely a genius.
I bet.
And so that all these things prompted everything. Like, it's like the bandwidth, like, where is it located? Like, what signal? Like, all of these things that deal with even just the connection part of it. Music, how is it played? When I was getting ready to do mine, me and my engineer were on the phone. He's in Cali, I'm in Atlanta. And I was trying to figure out the best way for people to hear the music without it having to be in the actual, in the room.
Yeah.
And I was like, we just need to run an input cable. I figured it out before I did it, but you couldn't go nowhere. It's a pandemic. I couldn't go to get the necessary things where I could have fed it right to the phone, and you just would have heard it coming out of Pro Tools like everything else. And so I know how to do it. I just didn't get to do it.
Sure.
But those small things, I think me and Sean's thing changed how that was going on, and probably changed a whole lot of things in the industry that we just don't have any idea about right now.
Yeah. We wanted to congratulate you on your new album, Sex Tape 4. It is fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
The last time you saw us was when you were dropping Sex Tapes 1, 2, and 3 together.
2, 3, yes.
What made you want to do just, one volume this time as opposed to like 60 songs at once?
One thing is I listen to people that care about me. And so when they say don't drop 40 records, then that's what they're coming from a a loving place.
Yeah.
People want a lot of records from a lot of people because they feel like they're like the idea is a hit or miss idea, right?
Yeah.
But I think with me, because of the storytelling and what I'm talking about and the cohesiveness of it, that you can miss it because you're overwhelmed by 40 records. It's like, I can't really enjoy it because I just can't. The great thing about it, though, is that by creating sex tape 1, 2, and 3 at the same time, it already was branded, which was my initial idea. It's like, let me brand this thing first and then drop something on the back of what that is. So now it's just building. And now this is bigger than what 3 tapes was. And when I do the next one, it's going to be bigger than the first 4 tapes was,
Mm-hmm,
and that's kind of the point of what I was trying to accomplish.
Does Fuck My Brains Out, is that a standout for you, just like it's a standout for like most people who have listened to the album?
Like I said, I listened to people, so they knew that record had been in circulation since 2011.
Yeah, man.
Right? I had nowhere to put it. It was its own thing. I remember Jay hit me about that record one day saying, "What is this? Why am I hearing this on the internet? And what the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Well, it's just you fuck with it." He's like, yeah, so it's those records. It's sometimes the blessing and the curse of what I do is I can be too far in front. And that's not to say positive or negative, because that doesn't mean that because it's in front, it's the greatest thing at all. But I think that I'm so over sometimes the idea of now that I just get ahead of myself. So in that record, I compared to Shiny Suit Theory, which ended up on Jay Electronica's album.
Yeah.
That record was also done in 2010. Like, so you're talking about 2 things that are 10 decade.
Man.
Oh.
That still
showing
resonates.
up in 2020. And the real idea came literally from me being okay with putting it there was when they dropped I think it was from 62 to 64, the recordings of John Coltrane. And so it was these records, nobody had heard them before. And so they was mastered and put out, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Well, when you were on the podcast the last time, you were talking about how your music is rooted in like trumpet pops, right? Just like Quincy Jones's music is. Did you guys have you guys ever like crossed paths, sat down, and like really talked shop? Like, what's your guys' relationship?
With me and Quincy?
Yeah.
Man, we don't have one, other than I think that he's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Man. We've spoken once, but just in passing by. Maybe he knew who I was, maybe he didn't. This is like really early on though. It's like 08, 09. Of course it's not hard to get to him. I always feel like they're, you people have their lives, and if you need to talk to somebody, you talk to them. If you don't, don't interrupt somebody. If you're getting that knowledge from a different tree. But however, I can call Lionel Richie on the phone right now.
Do it right now.
Merge the call.
which is more of the guy I wanted to emulate. It was him and Diane Warren. Like the songwriters in that time. Like that's what I was chasing. And so I think it's literally just that thing. Like, of course we could have a relationship, and I've definitely heard it lately. Hey man, you and Quincy, or you should get on something that Quincy's doing. And so I'll, figure it out.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens. I don't think it wouldn't. It's just one of those things where, you're here and you're not really thinking about it until somebody brings it up.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
How did you and Lionel meet? Because I mean, like, if that's like a very satisfying relationship.
I worked on one of his albums. When I remember I did Fancy the same day that I worked on something for Lionel Richie. Whatever album came out in 09.
That's a fucking great day.
Yeah, no, it was a perfect day. So it was whatever time that was, and I remember putting the rap on Fancy at that particular time and working on his album at the same time, and so that's how we met. I remember one time him taking time out from he was on tour in another state. Jumped on a private, flew to Chicago to see me while I was on tour. Like sat there at the hotel early in the morning, like 4 a.m. 5, me, him, and my friend Karen Clark just sitting there talking, chopping, like talking about Southern shit.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
You stopped by Lenny S's birthday Zoom party like last week. What
Yeah.
what were your favorite parts of the celebration? And I know that Jay made everybody who got in the room give a tribute to Lenny.
Yeah, and
So-
there were like 50 people in the room or whatever, more than that.
What was your tribute to Lenny?
Oh man, I hit Lenny actually on the phone like outside of that because there was way too many people, man. Like, I'm just not really that guy, like, to be honest. And even if those things are meant well, I just kind of like the more personable approach to a person, about something. Like, and if we was having dinner, of course, it'd be different. I understood why, but I'm just not good at that. That's just a chink in my arm. I'm not good at it. Like, and so I just rather like hit a person like, hey man, like, congratulations on everything that you've done so far. It's just and Lenny's a beautiful human being.
Yeah, he is.
If you know him.
Yeah.
So it's good friend of mine's, and yeah, it just goes kind of without saying. So I guess when those things happen, especially when it's somebody and that you feel deeply connected to, you just like, let everybody else say something that barely like really knows, like,
Yeah.
Like, where do you sit in your house for Zoom calls?
Man, I walk around, man. I do the same shit I'm doing now. Like, I don't know why. I get on the phone and walk. Now I'm like literally in the courtyard right now, just walking and talking. So I'm walking through the house. I think we was on for Emery's birthday 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And who was that? Tata was like, all I see is rooms after rooms after rooms after rooms, because I just kept going through like each room and just pacing. I don't know, it's my thing. My mom used to kind of do it, or I remember just laying under my mom as a kid, and she'd be on the phone. Of course, it's connected to the wall. She can't go far, and she's just talking, but she's just in bed, just moving, and it's just like a leg swaying back and forth, like just like, okay, well, that's where I get it from.
How dressed up do you get when you're like, in quarantine? Are you putting on hats? Are you
changing your shoes? Like, are you going the extra mile?
Oh man, I don't. This one thing you don't understand about me. I get up to go to do something, even if I had nothing to do. I've always been this way. Like, so it's a whole outfit from the beginning of the day to the end of the night. Like, whether it's comfortable or not. Like, right now I got on this Bob Marley t-shirt that's ripped that I decided that, oh cool, I feel like using my scissors today. Let me cut the arms off. And let me wear these shorts that have palm trees on them that probably belong on some man that's probably 76 years old. I have on my kids' Adidas, and I'm just like a little Scully rolled up, like, so evidently I'm from Jamaica. I'm just missing my joint right now, which will happen in just a few seconds. And I'm in my thing. Like, I'm like, cool, because for me, it's not about the house. Is just a box, So I don't play that game with boxes.
Well, let me ask you this then, because we hear all these stories about how you thrive in a studio setting, which is very collaborative. How are you doing in this time now where it is very isolating and you're by yourself?
But it's not isolating when you have an imagination. Yeah, I think it's isolating when you depend on what you see to do a thing. Like, I wrote Fancy. I hadn't been to Paris yet.
Wow.
And now I go all the time.
in your mind?
Like,
yeah, you can't go anywhere now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, in my mind. Yeah. I mean, I haven't went this year yet.
So, all right.
Which is thank you for making my fucking life good until you said that shit.
Sex Tape 4 is streaming everywhere. Can we expect more music in the very near future, or how is this sort of like going to continue moving forward in the series that is the Sex Tape series?
Sex Tape 5 is basically about done. I think people are getting a little bit more understanding that it's more attached to my feeling of how I feel about it more than it's about anything else. Like, it's not about a marketing machine or a big label machine rollout and this and that, man. I can give a fuck about all of that. Like, the point is, how does it feel? How does the climate feel? How do I feel putting that thing out? There's like several different records in several different spaces that I have there, and they were all wrote in those spaces. So it just depends. Like, the Nicki album may come out before Sex Tape 5. Or Sex Tape 5 may come out before Nicki. Or, we might unleash Love Affair, which is actually done. It's just in a place. So it's just like one of those. It's hard to understand. I know it's hard for people to understand why it's not just they record it and just drop it, because I guess it's not seen as an art really when I'm surrounded by so many vehicles that just go fast.
Well, Dream, are you a patient person by nature?
I want to say that I'm really, really patient. Actually, yeah, I'm super patient, but I want shit done. I think it's just more of the perfectionist part, though. I don't think it's the patience. I think this is the perfect time, and my perfect time isn't the same as everybody else's. Everybody else's perfect time may be, this is the perfect time to drop because it's hot outside and blah blah blah. My perfect time is like Pimp C wearing a fucking fur coat on the beach.
Yeah,
in,
Miami.
Exactly, in the fucking J video. Like,
yeah.
Perfect. That was fucking perfect. You probably don't want to wear that shit for more than 10 minutes, but for this fucking video,
it was the perfect time.
Perfect.
By the way,
The
it wasn't just for
perfect time
10 minutes.
to
Like,
wear
he
a
wore
fucking
it the full time.
Oh, yeah.
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 Going out, going up, keep a leader in my cup. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Legendary.
Perfect.
Dream.
Legendary.
Yo, talk about the perfect time. Whenever we get together, it is the perfect time. Just like when you came up here the first time and you said that, because we were like, yo, this is going to be the best interview you've ever been a part of. You're like, no, this is the best interview you've ever been a part of. And you were absolutely right. Both times, Dream, it's always a pleasure. We look forward. Whenever you drop the next project, please, please, please call us up.
Yeah, call us and also call Lionel.
Yeah, exactly right.
I'm gonna make sure you guys get on the front end of this Nicki one, because I feel like that's in our place, if you understand what I'm saying. Like,
absolutely. Can't wait.
In a very close environment.
Well, listen, Dream, we appreciate you as always. Be safe down there. We love you. Take care of yourself, you and yours, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Love you guys. It's the real podcast.
Hey! Jeff, let's now get on the phone with our friend Rajni Jacques. Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop.
Hello.
Rajni!
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good, just watching so much TV, and I think I've watched everything on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime.
Well, let me ask you this, Rajni. As the mother of two, what is the kids show or kids movie and kids song that you are just beyond sick of right now?
I mean, there are songs that I'm beyond sick of, but when it comes to kids, Diego is very into Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And he was very into Paw Patrol.
Oh, man.
Which I was kind of on a ledge about, please find something else. And then there was maybe 3 or 4 days where he was into this movie called The Cruds or The Crudes, where they're a caveman family.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do you really know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know.
I'm not a
everybody's
regular viewer, but
No,
I am aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you and Diego can talk about it
That's
for
right, yeah,
hours.
yeah. He's calling in after this.
Yeah, so he was into that, and then there was the one. Oh, and then I was watching The Grinch, the movie. I think I've seen it 5 times because Diego really got into that, and then renamed his sister from Lucienne to Similu. Not Similu, but Similu.
I love it.
And now her new name is Clifford Medic, because Medic is a character from Transformers. So when I say Lucienne, my little girl, I call her Louie, and Diego, whenever I call her Louie, he'll get mad and he'll say no, her name is Medix. Medix Clifford. And I'm like, okay.
By the way, do you see Grimes and Elon Musk named their kid Influenza?
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
Strong choice.
Yeah. So I mean, medics and influenza are just
Not it.
Wait, did they really name their kid Influenza?
I mean, it was definitely trending, and I don't know, maybe I just shouldn't believe everything I read on the internet, but and then just put it out into the world on our podcast.
Right.
But my feeling is it was trending, and everybody was saying that they named their kid Influenza.
Wow.
I mean, to each his own, but that's dumb.
Rajni, what has been the most challenging aspect of raising 2 kids during these last 40 days and 40 nights about?
I realized that I am not a teacher. And Diego has told me that. He said, "You're not your mom." I was like, I sure as hell am not. It's weird because Louis is 1 and 4 months. So she's like a different breed. She's not like, the thing with Diego is he was like acclimated into school and he had a routine and he had friends and he woke up at 7, left the house by 7:45, was in school by around between like 8:10. You know what I mean? We picked him up, you know, our nanny picked him up from school at 2:30. So he had such like a clear cut routine, and it was honestly the most awesome thing ever. And this happened, and I would say the first two weeks were like fun in the sense that like we were all trying to figure out. I had never really Zoomed before unless it was with work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Zooming in my own residential space was just like weird for me because then people could see like your shit, like
Sure.
the thing that you left on your table. So it was just like, and you know, with 2 kids, like my place is just always just messy, just with like toys and stuff like that. So it was different. And I had like this like regimented, okay, you're going to wake up and from 9 to 11 we're gonna do like sight words, and from like 11 to, you know, noon we're gonna do colors, then we're gonna paint.
Wow.
I had like these like grandiose dreams, and then at week 2 I was like, fuck, I can't do this because I'm still working from home too.
Yeah.
And so it's hard, and David, my husband, he's working from home too, so it's like, you know, pick your poison. Which one are you going to sit on this call with? Who are you going to hold, Diego or Louis?
Yeah.
So it's just honestly, it's just been that. But yeah, the hardest thing is literally teaching. I give so much kudos to like the teachers, like, you know, all the people that kind of like rear your children in education, because their attention span, especially at 3, is just non-existent.
Yeah.
So you have to have patience, and I'll be honest, at this point in time, I just don't.
Yeah.
When you talk about having a very like manicured, ideal sort of background in your Zoom calls, like, you know, you want your place to be pristine for everybody who sees your apartment. Do you give a shit about that anymore, or is it just like,
no?
Yeah.
Now it's just like, it is what it is. Like,
but like, isn't that so funny how it's just like, you know, we all create this sort of artifice of like how we want to present ourselves for the world, and it's just like, this comes along, it's just like, fuck it, like, who cares? Like, you see me in sweats all the time now. Like, I'm not putting myself on for anything.
I literally have like a do-rag. I wear the same outfit. Like, you know, my sleep, everything is weird. My shower pattern is weird. Like, in the sense that like, before you would wake up, take a shower, and do your thing. Now it's like, let me do my thing, and then I'll take a shower at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've taken many phone calls and done this podcast, and it's just like, I'm not showered.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know.
No one's coming over. Who cares?
No, but like, even though we are like filming ourselves and there is posterity, it's just like, fuck it. Like, whatever.
No, it's true. And the other day, like, I was on a work call, and they were just like, you know, this one, everyone should do video. And I was like, nah, fam, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry you're not imposing that on me. Because I was like, I straight up had a mask on. I did like a facial mask. My hair was like all in like twists. Like, I just was like, no, I'm not giving you guys this ammo to like screenshot it and have it forever.
Wait, what do you think about your coworkers?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Or they have that screenshot. I'm not giving anyone any ammo. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, I'm not trying to dress up, and I'm definitely not, but I'm not giving you the ammo so you can use it down the line that, you know, I look like a hot mess, you know, in the Zoom. But it's so different because at work, it was so curated, and I'd be obviously curated because it'd be at work. At home, it's just a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
If every day is similar for you, if it's Groundhog Day for the way that you operate, the way that you dress and all that, how do you make every day unique and different for your children?
It's hard because some days it's not unique. Some days it's really not unique. I try to find different activities. Like, I'm painting more because I have the time to paint more. So, you know, I try to implement like at least 2 to 3 times during the week. We're going to do a painting lesson, or we'll go outside and do a lesson about like trees, concrete, or like the people that we see outside when we take our stroll. It's honestly, it's so hard to make each and every day unique because each day runs into each other. Like that thing of time, there is time, but there's no time.
Oh my
you know
God.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, I look at the clock and I'm like, oh wait, it's 5 already? Like,
Yeah.
how how did I even get to 5? You know, so it's really, really hard. I think maybe if it was just like me, I mean, listen, the quarantine would be lit if it was just like me. Or like, do you know what I mean? But it's not as lit because I've got like 2 like drunk, kind of like drunk humans walking around, and I have to make sure that they're okay. But
Wait, how far away are your kids right now? Are you looking at them as you're saying this?
no, I'm actually locked up in their room because they were going back and forth up and down the hallway screaming something. So I was just like, I'm just going to take 30 minutes to go inside their room. So I'm actually like in their space looking at this grandiose mess that I'll probably have to clean up soon.
Wait, do you want us to stretch this phone call for like 2 hours and then like...
I'm like, Mommy's still working.
David's furious.
Yo.
He's like, where's this bitch?
Rajni, as you mentioned, you're not just, a very accomplished writer and editor. You are also a fantastic painter. And since you've been dipping your toes back into the paint cans, as it were, what has given you inspiration? And is it that there's comfort there or excitement there, or what do you get out of the painting these days?
I mean, that for me, painting has always been kind of like my, just like a deep breath moment. It allows me to kind of just do something without having an end result. Obviously, I have an end result in what I'm painting, but like I don't have to give it to anyone because I don't paint. I've been commissioned to paint, but for the most part, I just paint for myself. But, like the past 3 years have been really difficult for me to find the time to do it because I just don't have the time, especially raising 2 kids and working full time. It was just really hard. So this quarantine thing, like the coolest thing to come out of it was to give me time. Like I'm on my 3rd painting now.
Awesome.
That I'm doing, painting simultaneously or in tandem with Diego and Louis, like putting their little canvases on the ground and like having them do it with me. And so it becomes like more of a family activity.
That's dope.
In that sense, has been really, really cool. And to be honest with you, like I've really just done research and, I have friends who knew that this is something that I wanted to do more of. So they've sent me like grants and programs that are, I don't know what's happening because of COVID, but like programs that I could submit my art for something. So,
Wow.
I submitted it for a mural in Brooklyn. I think the date was like the submission date was like 3 weeks ago, so I was able to kind of do a portfolio and do that. And there's another one where the submission date is at the what's that place called? Oh, crap, that hexagon like place, the Shed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was like the Pentagon.
Yeah, I was like hexagon, pentagon, that thing.
Yeah, the Shed down at Hudson Yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's like an art program there where that submission date is May 31st. So I'm working on that. So the greatest thing that this quarantine has given me is time, and it's allowed me to kind of like look and like express myself in the sense like, all right, what can I do outside of just painting for myself? Like, why don't you apply to this program? Maybe there's grants, for artists. Maybe there's grants for artists who are not necessarily artists in their career, but are artists in the sense of, what they love to do. Because, the art doesn't put food on the table, something else does, but this is really your passion. So yeah, it's given me that. And as far as inspiration, I mean, forever for me has always come from anywhere and everywhere and anyone and anybody. So it's just like I look at it and then I kind of just go.
Super dope.
Yeah.
Rajni, you are a noted New York Mets fan.
Sure am.
Regardless of whether they were actually going to win this year, are you going to tell people that this was their year anytime that you talk about baseball?
Yes, I always say. But wait, the T is A-Rod and
J-Lo. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, though.
One of my college roommates, who's as big a Mets fan as you and I, called him Shay-Rod, which I kind of liked, and I was more buying into the idea, so I'm on board.
Yeah.
But I'm like they're both Bronx. Yes, it would be a cute look. Listen, the Wilpons are honestly really not doing it. Like, they haven't been doing it for a very long time. So it would be cute to have money flowing and to kind of like get things right. But the Mets are going to come back. Listen, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago against the Cubs? Like, we can get there. We can get there. We've gotten there.
Right.
You know
the
what I mean?
only
Like,
thing that stopped the train and all the momentum was a global pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Yes.
Bernie Madoff, but whatever. But yeah,
Madoff too.
Oh my god.
I downloaded TikTok yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, congratulations.
No,
I did it 2 weeks ago.
it's my secret shame.
Wait, can I just tell you about TikTok? Like, I haven't put anything on there because
No,
I'm just,
same. I'm an adult.
But you can get I didn't realize, like, I thought Instagram was a place that you can get stuck in. No,
It's
TikTok
wild. Like,
is wild.
Like, I wake up at like 3 a.m. or whatever, just like out of nowhere, and then like 2 hours later, I'm just like, I'm still on this stupid thing. Like, watching people I don't know do absolutely the dumbest things.
It's insane. I honestly was like, I do not need another platform, but obviously we all got time, so like, I was like, all right, let me see what TikTok is about. And I just, for an hour and a half, I was just like, what in the world is this? And who are these people with all these followers? And like, it was insane. It's actually quite entertaining.
It is. So
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't follow anybody, but they have like a main page and you just like scroll or whatever. And J-Lo and A-Rod were on there, and they are so corny. And I was so bummed out. I was like, oh, like, this is not what I thought that this would be.
I know. They are, I'm not gonna lie, they are really corny. But I'm actually, I actually love their love, or love that she's found love.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, no, same.
Right? I feel like it's cool. Wait, did you guys see when they did the live with Diddy?
I saw part of it, yeah. And like,
And then-
and she was like, wait, did I teach you those moves?
But wait, and then like the comments, because with any live, the comments are always the best part.
Yes.
And someone wrote, "You remember when y'all shot up the club in New York?" And I almost cried. I was like, "This is amazing."
Yo, Rajni, what was better for you, the Saturday night version of Teddy Riley and Babyface, or the Monday night version?
Saturday night.
Yeah,
I mean, I cried my eyes out because the internet never loses. Like, the memes that came out of there were so brilliant.
Yep.
But I mean, the Saturday night was just amazing. I obviously tuned in for the Monday night too, which was great.
Yeah. By the way, I saw Rajni's comment go like, "We in here," and it just like went up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we can start."
She was like, remember when y'all shot up the club?
Because it was, that's like legendary status, but it's also like old uncle status too. So you wanted to see like, what were they going to bring? But the mic drop of that whole entire thing was when Babyface just took out the guitar.
Oh yeah.
How furious Teddy was. Because
Teddy's like, "Hello."
I was like, damn, he got you like that. Like, there was nothing. It was just a pure like guitar, like pure music moment. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then the last 2 days after that, all I've been listening to is Teddy Riley Babyface. So
yeah, I saw that Swizz Beats posted that like their streams are just like through the roof because of all this.
Yo, like what Swiss and Tim are doing for certain artists is and the broader culture is so crazy significant.
Well, yeah, because it's the only thing happening.
I know.
yeah.
Rajni, let's talk about fashion just for a second, because that is the business
Do we have to?
that you're in. Oh, I just have one. I have one question.
Only because Eric and I are so fashionable.
I just want to know.
Yes.
If this all is leading towards more uniforms and more coziness, and whether Kanye's Yeezy was right all along.
Kanye's Yeezy was never right because it was never Kanye's.
That's right.
It was never Kanye's. Like, he just capitalized on something. Like, that wasn't his. But I do have to say, like, I would never buy a pair of Yeezys, but if you want to send me one, that's fine.
Wait, Rajni, tell the people what size you are.
I am a size 7.5, and in women's and a size 5.5 in men's.
There you
Okay,
go.
now give your address.
I live in Bed-Stuy. DM me if you want the address.
That's right.
No, it's obviously it's gonna get more comfy. Listen, I think even before this whole pandemic, the Corona, before all this happened, like the industry was in a state of kind of like figuring it out. Just because I think, in essentially like where we are in the world and what's happening in the world on a broader spectrum, fashion is not necessarily like the thing that's holding people together. And I think the thing is, fashion is luxury, you know, and a lot of people at this point in time economically need to save their money, save their coins, and like, what are the things that you need as opposed to what you want. So the industry has been in flux and changing. Also, the industry has gotten very democratic in the sense, you know, with social media, you know, with podcasts, with all these things where people can build their brands on their own, as opposed to like being this like a elitist thing. It's kind of like everyone can have their hand in it. So it was already going through something and changing, and I do think changing for the better. Also, it's sustainability and making sure that like your carbon footprint is the right footprint, especially for the future. So it was changing, but I think this pandemic is probably accelerating the changes that were going to happen anyway. So once we're out of this, I just, you know, things will change. I think the way that people will dress will change. I do think what's going to happen, though, is because people weren't dressing for so long, I think once we're out of this, you're going to see people dressing up probably more.
Yeah, I saw that people were talking about, there was an article that was talking about how like suits are going to come back in.
Yeah. Because people are like, listen, this was sitting in my closet. Like, I never use this. It's also like, you have to think it's like the psychological thing about it is like consumption. Like, I had this dress, I have these heels, I have these shoes, and I hadn't worn them for so long. And you're sitting at home and you're looking at your closet and you're like, I have all this shit that I don't use. And so I think people are going to be like, I want to use this now. And I want to, like, I paid for it. Like, the footprint of this is somewhere. Someone made it somewhere, and you know like it got flown here. So like the emissions. I know I'm getting very frank, but like I do think that plays in people's heads, and it's like I want to use what I buy and not only I want to use what I buy, but I'm going to be smarter in what I buy for the future. Because we don't know where this economy is going to go, so you don't know what your cash flow is going to be. So I do think it'll be two things. I'm hoping people will be more grateful and appreciative, because I know I've been thoroughly humbled by this. And very grateful because at least I have a choice in the matter. I have a place to stay. I have a place to bed. And yeah, I complain about, I'm so bored, and it sucks, but at least I have a place to be bored in. But I do think people are going to dress up. People are going to dress up, and I hope people don't care as much about the facade, because that's not what's going to kind of get us through.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're just going to end up looking more like Babyface and less like Teddy Riley, right? So.
I mean, Babyface was fly that night.
Oh my God. Killed it with the sunglasses, everything. Rajni,
everything.
We love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of yours.
Love you guys.
Send our love to David, to Diego, to Clifford Medic.
All
right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
And now, Jeff, let's call over to Brooklyn and get on the phone with our friend, Jubilee. Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Is it working?
Yes. Jess!
What up?
Hi.
What's happening?
I'm the same as you guys, probably.
Yeah, just
dealing
yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same as everybody else. I have no answer for that question.
What is your general day like been these days? Like, has it changed over the last month? Where are we at today?
Today, I usually wake up at like 8, and then I go, there's absolutely no reason for me to be up right now. So then I go back to bed until like 11. And my boyfriend is kind of doing the same. And then I'll wake up, and I don't know, today I didn't even really change out of my pajamas, but it's Sunday, so I use that as an excuse.
Yeah. And I think there's this big shift, obviously, in the way that you handle your days now as opposed to like 2 months ago, because 2 months ago you were actively out playing, producing, performing, right. And now that is clearly not a part of your everyday life.
Now I'm like, oh my God, I need to buy turnips on Animal Crossing. It's Sunday.
Is there any way for you to possibly fill in that like high of being out there behind, two decks in front of thousands of people in your everyday life?
I don't really it's only been 30 days. So I am kind of at this point where I haven't been home this much or cooked this much in my entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of right now, just kind of not even trying to think about that stuff. I'm just allowing myself to be completely brain dead because I've never gotten to do that, It's really weird though, because I just finished every major project that I've had to do for the past 3 years. And I could have really used this time to do all of that. And now it's all done. And I'm instead of doing what I was supposed to do afterwards, I'm just shit, all the things that I struggled to finish because I never had time.
Now you have the time.
Yeah. And I'm just sick.
Well, what's a hobby that you have picked up while in quarantine that you never would have expected to do? Besides buying turnips on Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. I live by Animal Crossing. I've made 3 of my friends that have never even played a video game in their life get it.
We're still on the Super Mario 3 tip, just to be, completely honest.
You can play that on Switch. They have everything. It's actually, that's so funny that you say that, because a couple months ago, Nigel and I started playing Super Mario 3, and granted, I haven't played Super Mario 3 since I was
forever.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
And you still fucking remember.
That's the best. That is the absolute best.
Under that mushroom, and you're how do I know this? Your body's motor,
there's something nostalgic, but also very just comforting in knowing where the warp whistle is, and in knowing
right.
How to sort of
but also we sort of suck.
Yeah. But Jeff, it'll come back.
Yeah.
I think that there's or at least there should be an understanding for all creatives. We talked to A-Track and Dave, and they were both don't give me these directions. You have to wake up at 7 a.m. and get your day started and
right.
bring that good energy. They're both no, thank you. And then there are
funny.
And then there are
I've
other
been talking
people.
to them about this a lot too.
Yeah, and to be fair, there are other people too who have this superior focus and have taken the time to be all right, this is how I'm going to bring structure to my day and do that. But I think it's all right either way. There's no sort of blueprint to any of this.
Eric, we're not going to go viral if you don't pick a stand.
All right, fine.
Yeah, and I don't really, it's funny because I normally would feel really bad about it, but I just don't. I'm just I feel like sleeping till noon. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Well, but then,
it's funny.
Jess, do you miss Rise and Grind Twitter?
No, and it's still going, and I'm Rise and Grind for what? Your whole career just got shot in 5 hours. This means nothing.
Yeah.
And I've already had these thoughts, before this happened. I was kind of just you have some real life things happen to you, and you're nothing fucking matters.
Yeah.
And this shit isn't nice to you, so don't rise and grind for it. Don't, because it's not going to be there one day, and it's not going to be nice to you. And I already have that weird mentality. But I have been looking for music that excites me for sure. And actually I've been doing some live streams, which, aren't ideal for what I do in my life, because I like to be in a club with people, but it has, inspired me a bit, because I'm looking for music and people are making cool music, and I don't have to rise and grind. All these sets that I'm playing, I don't have to worry about clearing a dance floor or pleasing anybody, because what are they going to do? Log out of my chat? So that's been an upside to it. But it's funny, like, I can't do anything. And I have been talking to A-Track about this because I'm just like, I just don't, because he's like, doing all these streaming and he has the same drum machine that I do.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, my boyfriend that I live with has like been easily gets up, sits down, and like will make an entire song.
He rises and grinds.
Yeah, but he's just also like, he's been kind of doing that at home for the past couple months anyways. Mm-hmm. So like,
you're somebody who, even growing up, you've been around a lot of people. You would go to raves, obviously down in Florida. You moved up to New York and became part of this scene that is like about congregation and just going out every night. How have you taken to this idea of isolation and being away from other human beings?
I think that it's actually really, I've been doing this a really long time in New York and in Florida, but in New York especially, it's very hard. I mean, I was starting to not see people a lot because of travel.
Yeah.
But my only like awesome times to go out, like when I was home, like it was like a little reunion time every time.
Yep.
So I have shied away from being around a lot of people, and like with touring, I was mostly around strangers. And then, when I was home, it was mostly like dinners and like getting kind of chill. However, watching these people that I know that own these clubs and have worked so hard to get to where they are, like dealing with us, it's just like not fair to me. And like I'm doing like everything I can to like do a charity set or like do whatever, and like that's the part that's kind of killing me. Like I'm like, I've been here for a long time, and there are certain clubs I know what they went through to get that club open, and like that is the thing to me that I'm just like, oh, if this all just gets wiped out because of this, because New York is so trash with like landlords and stuff,
Yeah.
So I think that like that kills me more than anything. Like I pretty much chill at home. I am so not used to this life of being at home at all.
Yeah.
But I could, it's only been 30 days. So like, I actually like, it's been nice to just not have to have stress about other things. But I know that that's going away really fast, especially because my calendar keeps going off of amazing things that I was supposed to do this summer.
Yeah.
And it's like I had some game-changing festivals.
You get notifications that are just bringing you right back?
Right. Like
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in Moscow right now with A-Track and like a bunch of people. And that was going to be like so sick. And I'm here. I'm happy to be talking to you guys though. Almost like being in Moscow.
Oh, I mean, like, as long as we, like, do this over Zoom, we change our backgrounds. Like, we can be wherever we want to be.
Yeah.
Jess, I saw on Facebook that you've been doing something we have not done, which is that you've been walking not out of a want to, but, like, a need to. You have to go to your old apartment. And so
Such a nightmare.
So you walk from...
Well, you're living in Brooklyn.
You're living in Brooklyn, but you have to walk all the way to Midtown Manhattan, which is, like, a sizable distance.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours. And like, look, I'm a runner. I can run 10 miles easy.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it's just funny. Like I was laughing the other day because like we've been going like every week and a half maybe, but like I have to get certain mail. And like I was saying that you read, like a couple years ago, I forwarded my mail and my health insurance got pulled immediately, and then I couldn't get it back because as we're all learning during this pandemic is that every government website that we have is literally from the year 2000.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking that risk right now with this going on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, probably couldn't even get through to the New York State of Health if I wanted to. So I haven't forwarded my mail, and I'm not taking the subway, and I am
not touching a public bike. Yeah.
And so I'm not taking city bikes.
Yeah.
So what is it like to walk through a very dead city? I mean, like, because New York is such a walkable city, right? But it's walkable because of all the things that are happening.
Right.
And so is it weird? I mean, first of all, are there people out? Are you... What is it like? Like, everything about it seems so foreign.
When the world ends, there will be 3 things left here. roaches, rats, and white dudes running. I've decided. It's literally that. It's like, there's like white dudes running in shorts, even if it's cold.
Right.
And like, it's weird because it's like a pathway. Like, I've been walking like down Broadway to the bridge, to the Williamsburg Bridge. And it's like pretty empty. You walk through like the Hasidic area and like, you know, they're out and about as usual.
Right.
And then like the bridge can be a little bit like, what's up 18 Australians acting like you're going to brunch? You know, like it can be pretty ridiculous. Like, it's just like, what are you people doing? But for the most part, it's a lot of people either trying to exercise in a decent way or like trying to get somewhere. You could tell. Like, it's like, you know, people trying to get to work or like whatever they do. And then, Hell's Kitchen is so empty. It's so weird. And the only people out are just like The Walking Dead.
I bet.
So there's like this, these homeless people that stay across the street a lot. And they've been there like forever, you know, and they have set up like an entire apartment like across from my house. Like, there's like a bed, a dresser.
Man.
Like, because like no one's there except cops enforcing parking tickets. They're there.
Crazy.
By the way, that'd be the worst to get a parking ticket during all this.
I know.
It's just like, really, dude? Like, you really are going to do this right now?
So, Jess, are you walking alone, or do you and Nigel go together? How does this work?
We've done it together. I've done it alone once, and then he did it alone like last week. And then basically like last time that he did it, he just stayed at the Hell's Kitchen apartment.
Yeah. But if you go by yourself, are you going like with headphones or sans headphones?
It depends on where I am and what time it is.
Because I wonder if it's really quiet out there, you know?
It's
like
very quiet. It's like no beeping. That's the weirdest part about it, is no beeping. No horns beeping. Like, it's like that. Even here like, I'm staying at a friend's that's away.
Yeah.
Who has a way bigger place, because we live in a tiny place and she has a backyard, and we're just like, okay, sign us up because we live in a tiny studio. But yeah, that's the thing, is there's like no horns, and like there's like nothing really going on. There are people out for sure, but like out, like it's like they would be early in the morning. You know, like, and there's like a few like my bodega's open. And my laundromat's actually open.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody. Like, I'm just like not fucking with that. Like,
yeah.
A couple people stop by like on the stairs, like to say hello. But for the most part, like, we're just like, no, because, you know, Nigel's family lives here and my family is in North Carolina, and I might go there, but like if I go there, I'm going to drive. And even me renting the car will make me nervous. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, it's just kind of a weird, it's just like, how do you, like, everybody complaining in other places, I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to hear, you have a back, my mom's friend was like, yeah, and I'm just at the pool every day. And I'm like, cool, that sounds horrible.
I don't want to act like there's no culture in your life right now, because you did text us the other day and say that you watched both Biodome and Grandma's Boy
Yes.
in one sitting. So I'm interested in how you chose those movies, if they held up.
If any weed was involved.
It was 420.
Oh, there we
and
go. Yeah.
I wanted to just like watch something really stupid and like get high.
Yeah.
And I got half-baked ice cream. And I don't even care about weed, like, but I was just like, let me feel like I did something fun.
Right.
And so I like actually tweeted out like, what's your favorite stoner movie? Because I didn't want to forget anything. And which I would have never thought of Biodome. Like, I thought, you know, obviously you're going to think of like Half-Baked and like,
Sure.
you know,
you wanted a deep cut.
Harold and Kumar, like.
Jess, like we mentioned before, you are from Florida. You do
Yes.
hold, you know, Miami very close to your heart. Do you like have a tough time wrapping your head around the way that some people operate, or maybe most people operate in Florida, like these days?
Yeah, I mean, the governor there is a nutcase.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. I love Miami so much, obviously. We were supposed to, right when this happened, like the week after all of the shutdown happened was supposed to be Ultra. And the Ultra stuff started Thursday, Friday-ish, but I was obviously going to go Sunday because I'm from there, and me and Nigel were going to take a vacation, see friends.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is going on? Like, do I take this flight or do I cancel it? Like, because at the rate things are going, like, everything is happening so fast, and like, I don't want to get down there and then get stuck there or like whatever. And they were like totally gonna hold all of this Winter Music Conference stuff until like they absolutely, like, the mayor of certain counties was like no because of lawsuits.
Right.
But they were like hanging on by a thread, and in my head I was like, they're not really gonna throw these parties, are they? And then I canceled everything, and people were acting like I was overreacting. Like, people were like, because obviously we all had to cancel everything ourselves before any authority told us what to do. We had to like use our morals and our brains. So I canceled everything, and people were like, what do you mean you're canceling? And I was just like, dude, things are not like, we have friends in Italy and I have friends in Korea. Like, this is not cool. Like, nobody should be doing this or be responsible for this. So I knew Miami would handle it terribly, but the day that I woke up, I think it was the day before we were going to leave. I was like, let's just go down there and like not go out, because we wanted to just go to Miami anyways.
Yeah.
But we had like an Airbnb, and we were going to do nothing and sit in a pool. And I woke up and it was like, Mayor of Miami has coronavirus. And I was like, let's cancel this shit like right now.
Yeah.
And like, even though the mayor had it, like, they're still like, they're opening the beaches back up, and like and then all the like systemic like government things, like the unemployment situation is insane. Like, they like made the website so difficult to use for everybody pretty much on purpose. Like, it's just watching the way, I mean, it's already getting handled bad enough here, but like watching my Florida friends go through it, I'm just like, man, you guys have no hope. Like, I don't even know. And like, there's so many people there that don't speak English and like are probably being given the wrong information, and you're just kind of like, oh god, like,
it's just
but
super
everybody
frightening.
loves to say Florida man, so it's like this news is just like a new thing to like make fun of Florida, but it's like, no, this shit really isn't funny.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jess, we love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of Nigel. Take care of your mail at either residence.
I know.
And I hope that creativity comes back to you organically whenever it feels right, because
it will.
there's no reason to force anything, and I think that you're plenty creative to get through this thing and into the future. It's always great to talk to you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
You too. I'm glad you guys are there together doing what you do.
Most definitely. Shout out to Jubilee, shout out to Rajni Jacques, and shout out to the one and only American Dream. Jeff, are we back tomorrow?
We are back every day forever.
As always, guys, not for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.